two things can be true. A man can go on vacation to see his family for Easter and have a microphone stuck in his beard. I don't know if those two things have to do with what I'm talking about today, but they are in fact right. I'm talking about catfish. There's an old lady who is so disrespectful to her husband, I couldn't say no to watching this video. Imagine being married 58 years and cheating, or most of them, and the guy's still with you. I don't know what kind of relationship dynamic this is. I don't know if I want to be married after seeing what this is, but she is most definitely getting scammed by a Nigerian man. But it is hilarious, and I would like to look at it with you. Thank you, and welcome to another episode of Oh Lady, get off the internet before your husband sees. I'm Suvi, and I'd like you to subscribe probably, maybe a little bit. Thank you. Let's take a look at this old girl. I don't really have much more context than what I said. I think it's important to know that old people really just don't know how to use the internet sometimes, and I feel very, very scared of when I get old, the many ways someone will catfish me. So hopefully I will avoid that trap. But this lady has not. So, it seems everyone around me is in a relationship right now, and they're doing cute things like sharing playlists, sharing calendars, and apparently controlling each other's toys from around the world? Wait, the name Love Bridge by Lalo sounds like a 1960s Woodstock guy named Tim singing a song for you with too much chest hair. But it turns out it's a long-distance feature in a luxury pleasure device and the sponsor of today's video. Lalo isn't your run-of-the-mill toy brand. It's the Rolls-Royce of pleasure. Waterproof, remote-controlled, made from medical-grade silicone. And it's got a 10-year quality guarantee. 10 years. That's longer than my... So I had a look, and they have some wild stuff, like the Enigma Double Sonic, a triple stimulation massager with all the bells and whistles, app connectivity, 8 pleasure settings, patented deep sonic and sensonic technology, and yeah, it works long distance too. It's not a gadget. It's a luxury self-care gift. Also, Lalo meets the ISO 3533 standard. That's like the Avengers level safety badge for pleasure devices. So yeah, this isn't your sketchy battery not included gadget from the back alley. It's the real deal. But I think the thing I like the most about Lalo is its vibe. It's sex positivity, it boosts your confidence, and most of all, it's self-care. So if you're curious or just tired of scrolling while couples live their best lives, use my code LEO10 for 10% off. It stacks with other offers too. The link is in the description. Don't sleep on it, unless you're sleeping with Lalo. You get it.
This woman is married, but she started an online relationship with another man.
I just want to say, I seen the man that she started this relationship with. What the heck? What the helly? What is this? That's Jeff?
Yeah.
You know, normally you'd fall for like a Jason Momoa, something like that. This guy, what does your current husband look like? Is he in the clearance? Oh, what is, okay.
Was questioning my relationship with my husband after 50 years.
And that's when she turned to online dating.
And he can take better care of me than my husband.
Oh man, I love the implication that like after a long time of marriage, you just like the spark loses itself and you just roommates. I love the fact that that's how that happens. I feel like marriage is like, it can go really right, and after like 60 years, you're like, I wish I had more time. Or it can go really, really wrong like this, and it's like, I've been married 58 years, I count the date. Like I'm in prison, I do like day 1 with my husband. Ugh, day 2. It feels like it's such a important thing, which it is, but so many people seem to make a mistake. So I'm not close to being married. I don't even understand how people are making such big mistakes. I'm impressed. And how many people are like, yeah, I'll get married. And then like years later, like, ugh, what was I doing? Feels like a big decision is what I'm trying to say.
I'm Nancy. I'm a very family-oriented person. Was also a teacher.
I'm sorry, 1 second. The B-roll in this is hilarious. What would they have to have searched up? Old lady doing like rudimentary math? Like, what? Look at this. This lady's like...
I'm a very family-oriented person. Was also a teacher, played a horn in the band.
What the hell is that about?
A lot of boys in the family. 1 granddaughter and 2 great-granddaughters. My husband, his name is Richard, but everybody calls him Dick.
I bet you just call him Dick. Yeah, his name's Richard. I just call him Dickhead. Bitch. That's his other name, middle name for me. That's what I call him.
So I met him next door the day after I got out of college. His uncle and aunt wanted us to meet him, and I was like, big deal.
As all love stories begin with. His uncle and aunt wanted me to meet him, and I was like, put that in your pipe and smoke it, old man.
I had my hair in rollers and shorts and bare feet, and he liked me because I was just a true person, and this is what you get.
She was a true person, guys. Unlike those other fake ass bitches, those bitches who wear shoes. She was wearing pink and barefoot. She was a true person. Okay? She went to Woodstock and she did things there that nobody speaks about. I don't know what that means. I don't know what she's talking about. Every time I'm not wearing shoes from now on, I'm going to be like, I'm a true person. What are you? I'll be like, sir, this is not the place for you to take your shoes off. Please. I just don't know how she meant that.
And we started going out, and then we broke up. Thought he was going to teach college. I was after him for his money, which I have yet to see.
Hilarious. I feel like this wife is already being vindictive, first of all. Secondly, a teacher making money. Are you stupid? Like, what? It's like almost famously known teachers don't get paid nearly enough. They don't get paid what they should. Well, are you going to stay with him for his money or his knowledge? Because he probably has more of the knowledge.
I've realized that it's not as romantic, and he'd rather talk about sports.
Good work, Catfish team, for that B-roll. It's not romantic, and it has a picture of a ginger guy sitting back in his chair doing this. That's exactly, you're right. That's nothing less romantic than that. Ginger people laying back. Oh.
It's been like you're taking somebody out to dinner and that's it. At this point, we're roommates. Usually the 7-year itch, when it happened, he found someone else at work.
So in between, this lady also says that the guy had found someone else. Now, I don't know what this relationship is, but I know that there's apparently something called a 7-year itch. I'm assuming when you're with someone for 7 years or over, you start to wonder if there's more out there. I don't know how that stuff works. I've never had a 7-year relationship nor itch, so I can't really speak on that. But if that's the case, would you not think that the person you're with is not right for you? You know what? I don't want to say that because maybe there's people who go through the period and it makes them appreciate the person more. It's a case-by-case thing. But I do know if you're ending up on Catfish at the end of the day, you done itched. You done itched a lot, man.
And left, and after a month later came back. In my 50s, I have gone out previously in the past, but it wasn't someone that I could have left him for.
Very weird way to say whatever you tried to say there. Oh, that's a dank. I was trying to see if this person was good enough for me to leave my husband. It's a real test I do. But this guy, he's someone I'd sleep with, but not someone I'd leave my husband for. So we just did that. Wow, this lady, any generation, you got some crazy. I don't know if she is, but this is crazy.
Probably about 3 or 4 people, different times, spread out. Why am I doing this? Why am I going somewhere else and then going home? Didn't make sense to me.
I don't think it makes sense to anyone, lady. 4 guys. If you have one, you'd be the restaurant. 5 guys, man. That's crazy. Lady, stop. I don't know. Look, I may be on the wrong person to ask, but like at some point, it's like if you're cheating and then you keep doing it, and at one point you might even cheat on the person you're cheating with on another person. Like, bruh, why don't you just leave the original? Come on, like he deserves better, right? At some point, you loved him enough to know that that would hurt him.
I knew he knew when you're going out at night and not coming home until midnight to go to bed, but never ever asked anything.
So apparently this lady was going out and coming back after midnight, and she was like, I knew he knew somehow. Her normal day is probably like, I'm just going to stay in the house all day. And then like other days, she's like, I'm going for milk. I'll be back at after midnight. I hope you have fun. Why?
You know, I hinted, that I'm not happy and nothing about any changing at all. I just couldn't bring my heart to leave.
That's like almost never the case, right? Because it's bullshit. I just want to say bullshit. to say, I didn't want to hurt him while you're actively doing that. What really is happening is this lady is too comfortable in her situation to leave it, because then she will have to uproot herself and start again. There's a very big possibility the house is something they both paid for, he paid for, or her circumstances in terms of her situation and living will change. And that's something she doesn't want to give up. I'd rather someone be honest than be like, I don't know if I could, I don't know if my little heart could leave such a beautiful guy. But I am leaving tonight because, oh man, Danny, woo, I'm gonna get some of that ass.
I would come home and I would
Shit myself.
like see the look on his face
After I shit myself.
and like he knew something,
He knew, of course he knew.
but wasn't going to do anything to change anything. It was up to me.
So I just kept cheating. I was like cheating harder and harder. I was like, leave me or I'm just gonna, I'm gonna stop bringing these guys home, okay? Okay, dick. Oh, is that even, yeah, dick coincidentally is what I'm getting. What a crazy lady. Forcing her partner to try and get him to want her to leave. Brother. That is some toxicity to another degree. I didn't even know these old boomer ass heads had like super toxicity. I thought they just were like downright crazy. You know, like back in the day, the guy would wear a wife beater and he's like, you are what you wear. And then, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's really crazy. Now it's like gaslighting. Apparently back then you could do both, which is insane.
She has been seeing men. She felt bad about doing it.
And then continues to do it, and then she's dating somebody else online. She obviously didn't feel that bad.
There you go. David said it correctly. Exactly. How bad can you possibly feel? I don't know if like she's trying to convince us to be like, I'm the real victim. I'm just cheating so he leaves me. But really, I'm just too broken a person to say it. Own up to it, man. If you're gonna do that, you know, like be real about that shit. It's gonna bite you in the butt cheeks. And not in a good way.
I wasn't in love with him.
And now she's turned to online dating. She's been dating this guy for 4 years.
This guy came along, made a comment.
All right, so now she's been dating someone for 4 years, which normally I'd be like, oh, but like she's been married for 59 years. I think she's the oldest woman to ever love. I'm not sure. 4 years for her is like a cakewalk compared to her husband, who she doesn't love for half a decade. Imagine being out of love for half a decade and living with that person. Could you possibly think of a worse situation? I can't.
About a country star, and all of a sudden he texted me on Facebook and said he'd read about my comment.
This is my favorite part in the episode. So she leaves a comment on a country music star page, which we all do. And then a guy called Jeff messages her and he says, and I quote, I read about your comment. Which implies that someone took her comment. Rolling Stone magazine took her comment and put it on the greatest comments, top 10 comments of all time. At number 1, Debbie with the comment, man, I like that Post Malone. I wish he didn't look like my grandson. I'd give him grandson. And then Jeff read about the comment, like it traveled across like lands. And he was like, wow, that Post Malone comment is making waves around the internet. Very good. Very good, guys.
And would I like to be friends? I thought, what the heck? I've never done that before, so I tried it first.
Yeah, what the heck? I've never just been friends with a guy. I've always been friends with benefits or like, yeah, fucking. Well, I guess I can just try and be friends. It's gonna be hard when you keep your dick out like that.
Messages, I kind of liked your comment. Do you think you'd like to be friends? So I said, yeah. And he told me, let's go to WhatsApp.
It's an old person conversation that should be very wholesome. Wouldn't that be the most wholesome comment ever? Like you see two old people like, I like your comment. We should be buddies. And then the other person's like, yeah, that's the cutest thing ever. But then it's like, it's a Nigerian dude and he's like, I like your comment. I also like money. Hand it over.
We were talking about his family. Didn't say too much about where he was or anything except Scotland.
All right, Jeff in Scotland has 3 kids, 1 divorce. That's a good track record. Everybody does usually end up in Scotland after a divorce eating haggis, wondering what the hell happened to their lives. Cool.
He enjoyed talking to me, and that's when I started being descriptive about my home life with him and being unhappy. And basically that was it.
Yeah. So Nancy at this point decides she's going to start saying that her husband and stuff ain't all that good. And they trauma bond, which is just, I feel like a lot of the old people could do that and do a very good job at it. But now she's going to describe him and she says he's 5'10", which I guess that checks out. I'm a bit concerned about the panda shirt and how audacious it is, but that's good. That's good.
He's probably maybe like 5'10", I would say, with a football player type build, a football player type build, a football type build.
From the start, you would break my heart, but still I had to play these painful cards.
He has a bra made out of his own chest hair. If you say so, Nancy, if you say so.
Goatee, light hair, brown eyes.
Okay. If by light hair she meant like the density is light.
And a mustache. I can't figure out what nationality he is, but he said he's American.
Imagine saying you're American and she's like, yeah. But like, what are you really though? Like, I'm actual American, but like, you're like, there's something else there. You like chalupas? Like,
Just seems to be very caring, more so compassionate, trustworthy. The look in his eye of compassion and love.
that looks like my mechanic being like, your car's fixed. Pick it up anytime you want, but pay me first. Is that the look of love? That one, Jeff, love? I'm not trying to Jeff shame Jeff over here, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you go with Jeff Goldblum or like someone else, I'm like, oh, that's a good Jeff. I don't see it in this Jeff. They could have picked, the Nigerian scammer could have picked anybody. But I don't know if they're on such a level of scamming that they're now like, it doesn't matter how we look. We know that if we give the other person attention, they're probably going to come to us. And it works. And it works. These guys are getting smarter every time. Soon, they're going to use AI and fully replace it, have a whole backstory for these people, live a VR life. And old people are just going to get, it's going to be like flies to shit.
I mean, it's every day and every night I hear from him, and he of course asks me if I've taken my meds. He wants me to take care of myself for him because he's going to take care of me.
I'd like you to take care of yourself for me, because one day I'm going to take care of you. But right now, you take care of yourself. But after that, I'm going to take care of you. You take good care of yourself, because I want to take some care of you. All right, bitch. Later.
So I was upset and crying about, how controlling Dick seemed to be. I, couldn't even go out without an excuse.
Yes, exactly. Because remember, Nancy was going out till midnight fucking these dudes. But now she can't go out without an excuse. Like, ever since her husband found out about it, it's been harder to cheat now, which is tough. Tough on Nancy, I guess. I feel very sorry for her.
Which meant I couldn't go out and get any money for him. He said, well, just say you're going to the store to get a loaf of bread. And I said, well, he doesn't get that.
Yes, he doesn't get that. You might as well say, I'm going to get a loaf of some dick. I'm going to get 3 slices of that penis. Thank you. Butter up that penis. I'm going to get a loaf of bread. Jeff is really good with this, man. I'm going to get a loaf of bread for 5 hours. I'm actually just going to make the bread. I'll see you in 3 weeks. Thanks, guys.
When I get there, we're going to take care of him. He said, I have a gun. I have a right to carry. Dick said to me, find out where he is. And I said, well, he's in a room.
This man used the water pistol emoji. Says he has a yacht. At this point, I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to take care of her or like take care of her. It's kind of crazy.
So Dick took the phone and he said, I'm in a effing room. What more do you want to know? He didn't like that he was controlling me to go do Bitcoin for him because he was very demanding.
Old people in Bitcoin is the 2 worst things I can think of. It's like trying to put a toaster in a washing machine at this point. Like, why? Why? Old people is not... I'm not saying old people shouldn't do Bitcoin, but like, they say it with such like, I know Bitcoin. It wasn't even around for like that long in our lives. These people grew up with like currency that changed. I know in my country, currency literally changed from pounds to dollars. Rands. I mean, that's crazy. If I heard my granddad be like, you know what, I really needs to change this Bitcoin I got Ethereum. What do you have, little bitch? I'll be a bit crazy. I'll have to steal granddad's crypto wallet in that case. He probably has a real wallet that he keeps crypto in, which is very interesting.
Text with Dick saying that he loves me very much and that he is coming to get me and he can take better care of me than Dick can.
Imagine your wife of 59 years showing you her Nigerian boyfriend who's pretending to be a man who objectively looks worse than you in real life. So that's gotta hurt. That's gotta sting as the husband, right? It would sting me.
As Nancy's love for Jeff grew, so did Jeff's issues. The problem began when Jeff took a contract to work on an offshore oil rig.
As they all do. Now, this is where stuff just starts getting like to a point where you're watching the video and you're like, are you daft, Nancy? Are you even off this world? This man works on an offshore oil rig, as every scammer does. We know they say this because they could constantly move and then guilt trap them and show them pictures that play on the emotional value of some of these people who are in love. So that's what is happening.
Take a picture from me. Then he said, after he took them, I've got to pay them or they're not going to let the guys have their paychecks and I can't get paid.
Hold on. There's so much right with this. First of all, beautiful photoshopping skills, Nigeria. Secondly, so apparently to get paid, he has to pay the company so the company can pay him so he can pay his employees, even though he works company. Nancy. Surely Nancy knows how money works. Surely in her day, she wasn't just milking cows for favors and stuff. Surely.
Then he needed money to help with his airfare. All of a sudden, I got a video of the plane and then heard a sound like the brakes or something.
Oh man, so he's on an offshore oil rig and he took a plane from the oil rig into the jungle? I didn't know. Man, what is this guy's life? One day he's in Scotland, just doing Scotland things. The next day, he's on an offshore oil rig. He's American, of course. And then he's in a plane, a two-man plane. And it goes down in like the Amazon or somewhere crazy like that. There's a lot of trees.
The plane went down, the brakes were bad, and he ended up stuck in the jungle. I hadn't heard from him for like a couple of weeks because he said the plane went down and this family took them in.
I'm an offshore oil rig Scottish American worker who's taking a little plane to go back to America. It's a two-man plane. It's just how we do it. My plane crashed because the brakes didn't work. And now I'm living with this family. This sounds like a sitcom, actually. His plane crashed, and now he lives with an African family. His name is Jeff, and he's a liar.
And they were staying with them until he got the parts to fix the plane, and he was gone every day.
He was staying with this African family, and every day he would go and find parts to fix the plane. He found a couple bananas. He put that in the plane. He used the bananas to craft an engine, create wings on the plane. I heard he used a boysenberry to start the thing.
He said, I'm sorry, I haven't been in touch. I didn't want to scare you. I didn't want to worry you. When I sent you a picture of the plane, he said, and there was a problem with the brakes. We've been stuck here.
He got stuck in the jungle. The Wi-Fi is fantastic. And he didn't want to scare her, so he just didn't message her for a few weeks. His plane went down. He's like, I don't want to scare you. I don't want you to think I'm in trouble, so I'm just not going to message you. When I actually figure things out, I'll message you. It'll just be easier that way. So let's do it like that, guys.
The plane takes him off the oil rig when they're done with the job. It crash lands in a jungle. Him and his friend William are in the jungle trying to figure out how to fix the plane. Both William and...
That dude's face is my face that whole time.
Trying to figure out how to fix the plane. Both William and this guy...
Say what?
This guy are asking her for gift cards to fix the plane. So she's...
Gift cards to fix the plane. Gift card. Hey, has your plane ever crashed? Well, use this $20 gift card. It provides you with plane materials that will help with the crash. You just give it to the African families in which your plane crashes to. They often take gift cards. Everyone knows when you're stranded on the desert, the two things you need is water and gift cards.
Sends money for equipment for the plane, parts for the plane, labor to get the plane fixed.
And in the meantime, you got to feed.
Of course, you have to pay everyone for the labor, even though there's just two people in that African family that you love. Your name is now Mbeki, and you're one of them.
Of course, then we have to have gas after that, you know. The plane has been repaired. Give it a run to see if it can make it to wherever I am.
He got gas for the plane as well. He mixed some raspberries, gooseberries. He mixed some grapefruit. He put a kiwi fruit in there. He made a little concoction, and then he put it in the plain fruit salad. That's what the gas that the plane is used. Fruit salad. The fruit salad plane, guys.
He said that he had broken his leg
Oh, he broke his leg.
running up the stairs of the plane.
Oh man, that's He fixed the plane. He put some bananas on the plane, and then he slipped on one of them bananas. Now he broke his leg. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, dude. Imagine fixing a plane from bananas. Like even Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong could not do it, and he did it. And then he slipped on a banana. That's tragic. That's a very tragic situation.
Because he was so excited to come get me that he broke his leg and had to go in the hospital.
Imagine being like so excited to get married. Really, you don't. And then you slip on a banana and you're like, I can't marry you. My leg is hurting. Broken. I mean, it's broken. That's good. I feel like the Love is Blind next season should do that. One of the contestants slip on banana and then, I'll get married now.
Then he collapsed at one point and had to be put in the hospital for high blood pressure. That's what I was supposed to send him money, his meds. They weren't going to let him out.
So I don't know, somehow even with the plane, he managed to get back to America. He's safe. He's not working on that oil rig anymore. He built a plane that could fly from bananas. But then, of course, the worst thing happens. He's old. He's got high blood pressure. So now he's back in the hospital. And then they say they're not going to let me leave until I pay my bill, which is what we know. American healthcare is like, if you can't pay the bill, they will keep you there and make sure that they give you the best treatment. And they're like, you will get the best fucking treatment ever until you could pay. Once you pay, you get out of here. I would never see you again. But we're going to treat you so well that you're going to want to pay us.
I had to come up with some of the rest of the money. I offered to send the money to the hospital, and I couldn't do that.
Just Venmo the hospital. Cash up the hospital. Yeah, Dr. Patel, cash up. Cash up. He fixed me up real good. Tip him, actually. Tip him $2. Just give him a little bit.
He had to have the money to do it. So how long he was in the hospital, I don't remember now. And I sent a gift card.
Yes, of course. Dude, that's exactly what hospitals need. This is what American hospitals are missing. Injure 2 of your family members. Get the 3rd one treated for free. Bruh, we should all be doing that. Look, this is a coupon for IV, and now you put 2 IVs in my hand. You used to only put 1. This is a coupon. Now instead of IV, it's Sprite. It's Sprite. You put Sprite into my veins. Quench my thirst. Quench my thirst to make me better, bitch. I love it. I love that idea. A gift card for the hospital. It's like, here's $50 off. Your treatment will now only cost $39,990. Thanks.
I had sent probably about $800 because I needed more money for food. Excuse came up that he didn't make it again.
Like he died. He died again. She said again. How many times is this guy dying? Oh man, Jeff. Risen from the dead. Just like Dick, which is her wife. His wife. I mean, her wife. I mean, her husband. Oops.
His passport ran out and had to have the money. Otherwise, he couldn't get off the plane in Bangor. Yeah, I sent him $500 on the 27th.
That's crazy that these guys let him fly. They looked at his passport. They said, it's going to expire in 2 minutes. Are you sure you're going to make the flight? It's a 20-hour flight. And then as soon as they got there, they were like, I told you it was going to expire, dude. I told you it was going to expire. I feel sorry for him. He's stuck in where? Bangor. Don't know the place.
But the plane that William has is still in Bangor now. He got caught there by some woman who said that he was a scammer and had him arrested and put in jail. They flew him supposedly.
Oh, they renewed his passport just so they could fly him out. That's crazy. Hey, I have never seen this before. A scammer saying that he got caught as a scammer. This has got to be some inception. This has got to be something that the scammers have going a bit. That's like, how badly can we scam this woman? And they're like, I don't know, man. I've said all of the craziest shit. And he's like, say you're a scammer. See if she believes that. Say someone caught you as a scammer, but you're not. And he did it. And she was like, okay with it. She's like, man, I can't believe people think you're a scammer. You just went from a Scotland place to an oil rig and got your plane broken, and then you fixed it, and then you broke your leg and you have high blood pressure. It seems like a very reasonable thing. He literally said that. He literally said that to her face. That's wild, baby.
From Maine to California, went to trial, and had to pay this woman back $100,000.
God damn. Imagine breaking your leg, high blood pressure, you died for a little while, you come back to life, and now someone thinks you're a scammer and you have to pay them $100K. You don't even have your passport renewed. $100K? Oh, man. This Jeff dude is having a bad life. Imagine if his name was Jeff Bezos.
And I had to come up with a few thousand beyond that. They wouldn't let him out without paying some paperwork so he could prove if he ever got caught again that he wasn't a scammer.
The classic I wasn't a scammer paper document. Yes, it does cost $20,000, and if you pay for it, you indeed are a scammer. But what happens is when someone's like, are you a scammer? You hold up this document, it's just like, and then they're like, oh shit, it says, I'm not. Well, we gotta let him go, guys. It's not. It's a real document.
I said, I don't understand why they allow him to have his cell phone all the time.
Nancy putting two and two together every now and again. Every once in a while. Hey, how come we have such good internet in jail? How come you keep sending me pictures of you on that oil rig and flying and traveling? How come your Instagram has many stories of you at home, chilling, saying things like, scam this old boomer lady. Ha 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 ha. What's that about? She didn't fully put two and two together, but she got a little bit.
And his friend come to visit him once in a while and bring him some food if I would send him some money, $5,000.
That's a lot of food, man. That's a lot of guacamole. Because she sent him $800 to fix his like blood pressure and leg and shit. But food costs $5,000. This man has his priorities right. I knew as soon as I saw him, as soon as I saw a guy who has a bra made out of his own chest hair, I was like, that's a guy who knows what he's doing. That's a resourceful guy.
One of his crew that he didn't finish paying. He's said that he's not a scammer. He will prove that to everyone when he comes.
I love people proving they're real. If you're not like saying you're real in the context of a gangster on the street and you're just like, I'm a real human. One day when I come home, everybody's gonna know it. That's not suspicious at all, Nancy. Like that he's trying to prove that he's a human being. Only people who try and prove that are like aliens. And then they say things like, I am real. That's more of a robot, but still, either one, Nance. Either one.
The whole thing has been maxed out with all the cards over this amount of time, over $60,000.
Oh my God, these old people have so much money to spend. It's like, I should open like an OnlyFans for like old people. I'm like, you don't have to get scammed. I'll just do things. And in the OnlyFans channel, I'm not going to do anything dirty. I'm just going to be like their grandson. And I'll be like, you can get me to do grandson things, like listen vaguely to your stories and be like, nah, make you tea. You can cook for me and I'll virtually eat your food and say things like, I remember this from when I was a child, Grandma. And then say things like, do you remember back in the day when? I think it'll be a good channel. I feel like all these old people are going to tip me so much money for being a good boy that I'm going to actually make more than the other models. So I feel like that's going to happen.
She goes to the stores and the stores have all completely like cut her off from buying gift cards.
Fuck gift cards. I sincerely fuck gift cards. I have a vendetta against them. Unless someone wants to get me a gift card, in which case, I'm here and I'll take anything because I'm that bitch.
I would like to know the truth first. As he said, he's never lied to me, but he's been evasive about many things.
You ready to risk it all for Jeff? That guy? Okay. All right. That fucking titty bra is really, that's getting her.
My name is Richard. It began when she commented on Don Williams' video, which I think was on Facebook. He says this guy commented and turned it into a dialogue, which he quickly changed to another platform.
So at this point, it's been a few days. The team is trying to look at some of the evidence, trying to prove to Nancy that Jeff is not real. In the meantime, Richard messages them and they actually have a phone call with him because he explains this is my perspective of the story, which is, it kind of corroborates exactly what the wife has said. She commented on a country singer's post, and then from there, relationship started, which is how all relationships start.
Most of her Social Security, which he gets most months, plus a reimbursement of her health insurance premium.
She watches our channel, so she's seen all these Photoshops before.
Yeah, that's the worst part. She watches Catfish. She knows Social Catfish. She watches them. She's like, I'm a fan. Anyway, I would like to watch this with my boyfriend, but right now he's stuck in the jungle building a banana plane. But when he gets back, we're gonna watch the new episode.
You guys are married and she's talking to this other guy online. How does that make you feel?
I kind of compare it to my mother's situation. My mother dealing with alcoholic relationship.
So we have a conversation with Richard, and it feels like he's either not able to express his feelings or not willing to. There's something that, in my opinion, he's holding back, or he's just unable to fully vent out the frustration of something. He often, at times, like when Brie asks him very serious questions, he'll play it off or say something that is just not really indicative of a good answer. And maybe I'm completely reading this wrong, but there's a chance that he's just hurt to the point where he has learned to tune it out and be okay with life because of it. And I feel like that's probably what's happening here.
After a few days of researching, our team was ready to reveal the truth to Nancy.
Let's hop into it. How are you doing?
I'm kind of scattered with my feelings.
A while later, Nancy is in the car and we see her and she's looking like a gecko or something like that. Everything's good. But it turns out there's a twist. Nancy is sitting in the car with Richard. They're doing this whole interview about her finding another love of her life while Richard is in the car, her husband of 59 years. The level of disrespect is at an all-time high, people. I don't really know if I've ever seen something like this before, where they're talking about someone else that a person loves in front of the other person, and they're like, yeah, that's good. And it just gets so awkward from here.
In the car with you right now, right?
With his arms folded and his eyes closed. He wouldn't care if I talked to him just as long as I don't send him any money.
What kind of relationship is that?
Exactly. Drew is correct. What kind of relationship is this? You don't care about your wife. Your husband don't care about you. What is this, man?
What is it about this relationship that you are continuing with Jeff that's so different?
The talk about caring for each other, even if it's on the phone.
I did not know that I needed eye protection for this segment. I can see so far up her nostrils. It looks like she's got 3 mouths. I don't like that.
Conversations that Jeff and I have about relationships that Dick and I do not have.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is really sad, right? I don't know what to say because it might be her relationship that she's not getting that. And so this guy is giving her lip service, affirmations that she wants. I'm going to give you the world, shorty, as long as you give me that 5K that I've been wanting, stuff like that. But Nancy basically, in some ways, saying that this is what she needs, that validation. And maybe it's the husband who just really didn't give it to her. So I don't know. But, resorting to this is obviously not as good as just communicating that and finding it in a real sense.
Because Dick will not talk about any intimate relationship part of the marriage at all. Where Jeff and I have never met, but we both have talked about how we would like it to be.
Is she talking about sex?
Is it... Grandma!
When we are together forever and ever, because I can go anywhere with anyone and discuss sexual relationships.
What is wrong with you? Brother, what? Yep, what? Where did this come from? Man, what? I don't need to hear that. Damn.
With the next door neighbor.
What? Hello, Can I borrow some sugar? Oh, also some whipped cream. Oh, what are you using it for? I'm gonna put it on my titties and Jeff's gonna lick it off. All right, I'm gonna move now. I'm moving. I'm leaving the country.
It goes from distant conversations to intimate relationships.
I thought she was saying it goes from distant cousins to your good old aunt. I talk about sex to every single one of them, and they all have blocked me from the group chat. I don't.
Impression that she seems to have that may or may not always be correct, getting in the way.
Yeah, so at this point, they start to have like some sort of argument thing on camera in the car, and all of us are subjected to watch because her husband is kind of like, I'm not against it, I just don't agree with the statement. And she starts questioning him, starts talking weird in front of people. Yeah, it's crazy.
So what if I were to say to you, why don't we have intimate relations? And your answer back would be,
Because this is not a conversation we should be having in front of the whole world and Scamfish where people have ears and want to cut them off. Please stop.
because it's not something I really need.
No, not the answer.
That would not be your answer?
No.
It has been.
You know, I don't think there's many things in the world more like cringy than like forcing therapy onto other random people, like in public. Like if you're having a public argument and other people are forced to intervene or just look at this. It's like, I did not pay for this show. I didn't even want to attend it. Please stop that. Please stop.
I've never said that.
Okay. Do you want me to say what you say? If I use the word intimate relationships and say sexual relationships, you don't think it's all that it's cracked up to be?
I do an impression of Jim Carrey trying to leave the situation, which would pretty much look like this. I'm out of here, bitch. Oh, man, I don't know if I want to hear Grandma talk about this. I'm just trying to protect myself from the cringe. I don't like this. In front of everyone, in front of Catfish, while you're getting catfished, that you're talking to your actual husband about your intimacy issues while getting catfished by a Nigerian man pretending to be an old man with a bra for a got titty hair bra. All right.
You get if you were me.
Have you guys tried counseling?
Yeah, actually, Drew, thank you for that one. Have you guys tried counseling?
He goes to play golf, which he's very particular as to who he plays with. And he ends up going with our oldest son that he'd like to have some money left for golf.
Hey, look, he's trying to put a ball in a hole one way or another. I mean, I'm not blaming him, but maybe, like I said, it's the act of trying to keep busy or keep your mind off things. I feel like if you were a husband and you had to really be invested in the situation emotionally, watching the wife, the person you love, fall in love with someone else must be one of the hardest things. So I don't really know if this is good or bad, but like my man's trying to get it. He's trying to get a hole in one way or another, man.
But you're sending money to this guy that you've never met online. It's either like you guys try to figure it out.
What everyone has said.
Is there music in the background?
No, it's my phone. It's probably Jeff.
At this point, there's some noise in the background. Our boy, Drew, he hears it and he's like, yo, man, what is that? And it's actually the scammer who's calling, which is, this episode like just breaks boundaries for me because normally the scammers do not want to be on call. They don't want to do anything, but this guy is calling. And when you hear his voice, you will be surprised at what Jeff sounds like.
Answer Jeff.
Because he's the only one that's been calling. Hello?
Hello?
How are you?
Can you hear me?
It's me.
I know, baby. How are you doing?
Jeff. I know, baby. How you are doing? How you doing, baby? That's Jeff, man. Jeff from Scotland. That's what Scottish people sound. That's American Scotland right there. You've heard of American Samoa. Now try American Scotland. Hey, baby, what's good? What's cooking, man? I'm Scottish.
Have you gone to the question?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So
So what's going to happen right now?
what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what to do next.
You know, you're on the side.
Yeah.
She's really looking at the picture of Jeff and she's like, that goes together. I like that. Jeff, he's got a beautiful baritone. It's not something I've heard before, but I like it.
Yeah.
You got to be together. Okay, so can you send me some money today?
Can I send you some money?
Okay, and give me a call back. And I love you.
Bye. I love you too.
Yeah, so most of the conversation was her just saying yeah, and then him saying things that were cut off by the horrible internet that would invariably connect between Nigeria and America. I can't believe it. She took a call in front of her husband. This is probably what she's been doing. It seems like she's very comfortable with this. Oh, I just feel real dirty about this situation, man.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Oh, she's
Bye.
blowing kisses?
Bye now.
Oh, she even looked at the husband. She's a blue kiss. You don't get that, do you? Sorry.
That's it. What'd you think of the voice?
What do you think of that voice?
Yeah, what the fuck do you think about that, boy? You reckon that's American? I like how Drew Turner, she's like, what do you think? Actually, what do you think, Nancy? What do your ears tell you? You got your hearing aids on?
To me, it may be, I mean, when I've heard other Nigerians on TV.
You lie. You lie, you lie, you lie. What are you talking about? You don't watch Nigerian TV. There's what channel in America is showing predominantly Nigerians on TV, firstly. Secondly, I know that's because you've been catfished before. That's the only way you could have possibly known that. Don't tell me about American people just like, that's a Nigerian accent right there. And I'll tell you what, that's a South Jamaican accent from Trinidad and Tobago. I don't even know if that's in the same place. I'm just saying, this girl, she's been scammed before, it feels like.
It could be.
It's not Texas.
It's not Texas for sure, because supposedly that's where, well, he grew up for 15 years in Germany.
That sounds like a German accent, yeah.
But he was born in Texas.
Oh, that sounds like a Texas accent, right.
I have a list of things that I want to go over with you.
The passport that Jeff had sent over to you.
So at this point, they break it down. They pretty much explain to her that he's lying. This is the part where she needs to come to grips with reality. Sure, let's see how she takes it. Apparently, she asked for a passport. Not her. Her husband asked for a passport that was completely fake.
We noticed right away that this wasn't a valid passport. The signature doesn't match his name. These little grammatical errors as far as the state and the city.
I knew it, but I didn't really want to believe it.
And that's pretty much the whole episode. I got to be real with you. The fact that she said the words, I knew it, but I didn't want to believe it, pretty much sums up everything about this woman. She wants to live this fantasy for whatever reason. She's been paying money to live this fantasy, and I don't know if it's really making her happy, but that Delulu is the Salulu for her.
So after he sent you this picture, you had to send him money?
Yep.
How much?
Probably $1,000 back then.
So this image right here cost you $1,000.
Oh, Bree put it in such. I like that. Bree is the nice, super nice one. So whenever she's like, this piece of shit cost you $1,000. This is not a Van Gogh. This is a van fucking ridiculous. This is put this under a van and keep it there. She ratioed Nancy. Nancy getting ratioed at this age.
Yeah, he's the only one that had a clean face and clean hands.
This image, they layered this image. This is not an original image. It's been photoshopped.
Oh, wow.
So then then these dudes show Nancy how they could have possibly put a face on someone else's face. And I can only imagine to her, this must be like black magic in real time. She must be watching this being like, oh my God, this was just another person's face. How do you guys do that? What is going on? I feel like that's the same technology when it's later on in life. I'll be like, how are you kids doing that? What? It's kind of like that.
And so the real person in the image, his name is Antonio. So Antonio is a social media influencer, which is why he has hundreds of images
Of him doing various things. He's hiking.
Right.
He's at his house. He's with his dog.
Man, Drew sounds defeated. So they find out this man's name is Antonio. He's a social media influencer, and Drew's like, he does many things. He's with his dog. He's outside. I quit this job. I'm done with this shit.
He's hanging out at the bar. There's so many photos for a romance scammer to create a story around. But you knew it was fake, right?
I think Drew at this point is like more annoyed And he's sort of under the impression that this this old bag knew exactly what was happening and just did not want to admit it. And it feels like a waste of everyone's time, doesn't it, at this point? Where it's like, you know the outcome. You know why you're doing it. Why are we here?
30% that he's real, 70% that I really prayed.
But do you really want to walk away from yours and Richard's relationship?
The way it is now, yes.
So at the end of the day, she says 70% she knew it was fake, which is, I'd be mad. I'd be steaming like a vegetable if she actually said that. I don't know if I'd have the calm pressure thing that these guys have, Drew and Bree. I could see why they're doing this because they're calm. But she also says that she doesn't want to currently be with her husband in the same position they're in, while he's still in the car, by the way, being quiet through all of this.
This person is from Nigeria, 100%. Anybody can catfish all around the world, but the best ones that do it come from Nigeria.
Weird flex, but okay. They're going to have like an Olympic event. Drew is like, some of the best catfishes I've ever seen. It started off a long time ago. These catfishers, they know what they're doing. They have evolved. Second, we have India, but they usually go with names like Michael Smith and then have that Indian accent. It doesn't really translate. And lastly, we do have just a few people from China. I don't really know how that one works, though.
It's only going to get worse and worse and worse, and that's all he cares about. He doesn't love you.
Even Jeff has talked to Dick in a text while we're all there, telling him that he loves me more than he can ever say and that he could take care of me.
Something about seeing a man in a panda shirt smiling and then being like, yo, girl is my girl, that makes it more hilarious. Like, it adds 20% more humor to the situation anytime you wear a panda shirt and do anything.
But he hasn't taken care of you because you've been sending him, so you're taking care of him. You know, everything we've covered in regard to the money that was lost, the gift cards, we recommend that you file a police report with your local law enforcement.
So at the end of the day, they essentially explain that the money has more or less been gone due to the gift cards, and I hate them. But they're like, yeah, you should file a police report. I don't really know if the police normally fixate on these matters to that degree, which is sad. But the real pressing matter is the relationship that's being strained between Nancy and her husband, Richard.
What did you all think? Is Nancy done with this fake profile of Jeff, or is she going to continue to keep talking to him? Well, Seekers, we offered counseling up to Richard and Nancy, and they are now looking to patch up their relationship and decided to stay married.
So Drew says at the end of the episode that counseling was offered to the two, and they're trying to work through their problems. So I guess on that front, I'll give them. I'm hoping things will work out. But this was an episode that was very. It was crazy, man. I want to read one or two of the comments before I go. If I were her husband, I'd be preparing my own food and sleeping in a room with a lock on the door. So your husband is controlling because he doesn't want you sending money to a scammer? How cruel of him. Yeah. The plane crashing in the jungle, her sending him gift cards to get it fixed is one of the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard on one of these episodes. That is absolutely right. I don't think I've heard anything as wild as this. So this is probably the wildest episode I've done in a long time. I don't know when we're going to top this. But thank you for being on this journey with me. I guess it's time to check Grandma's phone every once in a while and see if she still has her pension. Get going, guys. We've got a lot of grandmas to save. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope I see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm in a submarine. It's going down just like all of your dreams. I got phenomenal cream and I do beats wavy like sea. I get it wetter than water. I might just smash on your daughter. I might just trade in the stuff for a Porsche, piping it down like the pauper.